Yo, what's happening everybody? King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Go Battle League video. Today I'm going to be showcasing a really strong team with Galarian SLOWKING and Galarian SLOWBRO. These Pokemon are very strong in the Psychic Cup, and combined it actually makes a really good core, which basically fights against all of the fairy types in the meta, and overall this is a really strong team. What I started to notice though is a lot of people are actually running this team, and you're going to run into a ton of Malamars. So we have a Malamar in the lead, and the perfect thing about this team is all of the Pokemon that Galarian SLOWBRO and SLOWKING cannot beat, Malamar pretty much can. So anything like Claydol, Alolan Raichu, Bruxish, even Victini in certain scenarios. This team has an absolute ton of coverage on the meta, and I highly recommend it. And of course, as we'll get into the video, we'll analyze everything, I'll show you guys how to play this team, and hopefully you guys can have a lot of success with it. So yesterday I recorded 25 battles with this, and I went it was either 18 or 19 out of 25. I went from just over 2100 to just below 2300, so it was really positive. Today, unfortunately, I went 12 for 25 because I actually found a lot of people running Malamars and this exact team, or some sort of team configuration with one or two of the Galarian Slows, and that made it a little bit awkward. So you might start running into that quite a lot, but nonetheless, this team does work really well, and it is a very strong one. I think once the novelty wears off on these two Pokemon and everybody goes back to running their Gardevoirs and Ponytas and stuff like that, this team will absolutely dominate in this cup. Really quickly guys, before we get into the commentary, thank you, we're almost at 1,100 subscribers. If you haven't done so already, quickly hit that subscribe button, it is absolutely free. I upload almost every day, and sometimes once or twice per day with some of the best teams in all of the upcoming cups, and some really fun battles with some strong and spicy teams. So quickly hit that subscribe button for me, and all comments and likes help out the channel an absolute ton, so please do that as well. Thank you very much, and I appreciate all the support in these videos, guys. So hopping into this first match, here's a match that you're likely going to see quite a lot. It's Malamar versus Malamar, and Malamar, again, it's a bit of a problem for my backline, which is kind of why I have it in the front. To deal with opposing Malamars, at least get a shield off it, or, you know, try to do something against it. The opponent goes for Foul Play, I go for Hyper Beam, which is definitely a little bit risky. Pretty much if they're weak to Malamar in the back, they might let the Hyper Beam go, and at that point you can come in and farm down. You might have to eat a Foul Play on one of your Pokemon, but yeah, I do sort of like, actually after a while I liked going for the Hyper Beam. So I force the opponent to throw here. Of course I'll get to another Foul Play, and at this point it's a little bit more comfortable for SLOWBRO. So we're going to come in here, we've got a 2-to-1 shield advantage, the opponent will throw off a Foul Play, which is a little bit tough here. But yeah, in comes the Foul Play. They actually come in with the SLOWKING. I swap out really quickly, and we actually, the opponent throws off a move here. So will this be a Surf or Shadow Ball? It is the Shadow Ball, so this is insane. We end up throwing the Surf, and I think the opponent thinks that we reach the move at the same time, so they decide to shield it up. And at this point, we actually are going to outpace to the Shadow Ball, which is unbelievable. I could not believe I won that matchup. Just the way that worked out was absolutely perfectly. They can come in with their Malamar, and these Foul Plays do a ton of damage. It actually might just take me out from this range. So like I was saying, like Malamar is just so hard to deal with on this team, and in comes SLOWBRO. So we're actually really ahead on energy, so this should be absolutely fine right here. If we can come out of this with like a little bit of energy and a lot more health, Malamar can basically one-shot us anyway. So we kind of need to come out of here with a Surf more or less. The opponent's going to start throwing off moves quite soon, and even though these poison jabs are resisted, they do a lot of damage on the opposing Slow. They actually throw a Sludge Bomb, which is not the play, and we come out of here with a Surf and basically can take out this Malamar with the Surf. Yep, that should take it out, no problem. So definitely that was a very lucky match right there. Just in general, you know, Malamar is a very tough match, and your best matchup against Malamar itself is the SLOWBRO. So yeah, that's definitely one to watch out for. People are running a ton of Malamars because people are running the Slows. And here's another interesting match. I was getting so many rough matchups with this team yesterday. It was definitely, you know, one of my sort of bad days. I'm sure you guys know how it goes. What I decided to do right here is actually go for the Hyper Beam because I think they wouldn't really expect it. And I let them get off the V-Crate first, which means that a Foul Play will take them out. And we get a shield advantage here, and we're going to go for a Surf. Let's see how this works out. Sludge Bomb would do a little bit more damage, but Surf I would think is a little bit more efficient. We're going to shield this up here and sort of try to get this thing out of here. Malamar, like I said, is a problem for this team. I might even double shield it, which yeah, I do. Can I get a farm down here though? This thing is actually bulky enough, so I realized I wasn't going to get the farm down. I'm not going to mess around, I'm just going to try and get this thing out of here. The opponent actually does have a shield advantage with a Victini, which is absolutely deadly. And they come in with their SLOWKING, interestingly here. I guess they didn't want to get their Victini surfed. So we go off, we fire off this move, and we try to catch something on the Malamar. The opponent will be forced to throw energy because Malamar gets to the move so quickly, and it is a Surf right here. So at this point, I feel like, yeah, there's not really much I can do to win this match. The opponent's head on energy, they've got a shield, and yeah, like I said, you're going to see just a ton of these teams. Yeah, they go for the Shadow Ball on the SLOWBRO, and we've got the SLOWKING. I might just even top left here at some point. They need to throw the Shadow Ball to take me out here, and they do. Yeah, so that just about takes out, and I just let the opponent farm me down at that stage. So the actual like mirror match team is quite hard to deal with, depending on what happens with the Malamar matchup. In my entire 50 games I played with this team, I seen a few Charmers yesterday, but today I only seen this one that you're seeing right here. So of course I'm going to swap in to SLOWKING, which is the, the slightly less advantageous matchup. We're going to go for a Surf Bait because the opponent really needs alignment here, so we're going to fire that off. But this thing is just doing an absolute ton of damage, and I might be inclined to shield this up. Try to get these shields down off the opponent, because of course with their Gardevoir, they cannot take a hit. And if I can get alignment on the Gardevoir, that's perfect. So I'm happy enough at this stage, actually. I can come in with my Malamar and potentially even farm up a little bit extra, and that'll put me in a better position against the actual Gardevoir, because a Foul Play would just do a ton of damage. Now, I actually let this go. I knew it would be the Aqua Tail, but I'm happy enough to take this damage, knowing that Gardevoir would just, do a ton of damage to Malamar. And I'm thinking here, right, I'm on 1 health, I'm going to swap straight out, I'm not going to get myself charmed down, and in comes their own slow. At this point we have it won, we were ahead in energy and we've got a shield advantage, so just making that little pivot was perfect. And of course, if need be, I've got a Malamar in the back with basically a Foul Play loaded, so I'm pretty much happy at this point. I can just shield that up, there's no need for me, like the Gardevoir has no shield pressure, so I might as well shield up a Surf, shield something here against this, and I'm actually going to get the full farm down as well, which is going to be perfect. We do see how much damage this Gardevoir still does to this thing though. It is kind of, look at this, it almost gets me out of here. This Gardevoir just does so much damage, even against SLOWBRO with the poison typing. But we were able to get to the Surf, and that is the amazing thing about the Surf update. Just having that flexibility to get to moves quicker works really well. Definitely guys, out of the two, I don't actually like SLOWBRO that much. I think the weak link in this team is SLOWBRO. You could potentially go for like Malamar lead, SLOWKING in the back, and then whatever save swap you want, so be it Bruxish or Ponyta. I've called it Ponyta twice in this video, it's Rapidash. I'm going to go straight for the Foul Play this time. I play this matchup differently every time. If you can get it chipped, or if you can get a shield off the opponent, and then consider swapping into the SLOWBRO, that can be quite a decent play. I think, Rapidash can be quite a good pivot, because it spams off the moves so quickly here. So I think, maybe a team of Malamar, Rapidash, and SLOWKING would be a little bit better here. But yeah, the opponent's going to go for another Foul Play. I can let this go because it won't just about take out, and I'll get off another Foul Play here. We'll see what the opponent wants to do. We're either going to get a shield or get it low, and at this point I swap out, and the opponent swaps out at the exact same time as well. So you'll see like a lot of opponents are just running this team. So you can run this team yourself, or you can run a team that counters this team. Again, Malamar is super weak to fairies, but then if you've got the two slows in the back, you want to run like 2 Pokemon that counters the slows. So like I said, Claydol just is pretty tough to deal with these Pokemon, but you can always just look it up in PvPoke and just kind of see like, okay, which Pokemon are good against these two. And yeah, we get a Simul KO right here. So what I decide to do here, I'm going to let the clock go down. I think it would be a mistake to come into Malamar, and this opponent's running the exact same team as me. So I decide, yep, the opponent's going to try and go for a catch right here, and the opponent does have a move banged. Now, I know this is going to be a Surf Bait, but I do have to shield it anyway. I go for the Shadow Ball right here. We'll see if the opponent wants to call the bait as well. And I know that I'm going to get to another one, so I'm absolutely happy with this. I was able to get that overfarm in the Malamar, and I was actually considering doing the exact same thing on this opponent. I was going to swap into my own Malamar as well. So it's kind of funny that we had the same faults right there. And yeah, like that's just been my experience with this team. Seeing literally the exact same team against me, or some sort of slight configuration with 1 or 2 of the bros in the back. It's been kind of annoying to play. Actually, I was actually pretty pissed off playing this, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting to see this as much, but in comes Victini. Again, it's a bit of an issue for this team. 1 Foul Play almost takes it out, so I decide to farm up to the back-to-back and CMP on the 10, meaning that they can throw, and they will be forced to shield here if they want to keep the Victini alive. So let's see what they want to do here. They actually let it go. Most people do shield it, and we're able to get off this move on the Rapidash. I would have probably preferred banking this move and swapping out, but it does a ton of damage. We swap into the SLOWKING here, and we can go for a bait or we can go for a Shadow Ball. In this occasion, we go for the bait. I think it's better to bait the Bronzong, honestly, because Shadow Ball does a ton of damage. And we do CMP time right there as well, which is really good timing. We're going to throw the Shadow Ball this time. We'll see what the opponent really wants to do. The Surf would do a decent amount of damage, so I probably could have got away with another bait right there. But I feel like it's no problem, I might as well just go for the Shadow Ball. I'm going to be able to get to another one anyway. And at that point, I'll get alignment with my SLOWBRO onto the Ponyta. So I'm more than happy with that. Guys, I swear, the name Rapidash has just been erased from my memory, apparently. and we farm it down before it even gets to the high horsepower, and that's a good game right there. Like I said, you just see this team over and over again. Honestly guys, I would nearly recommend going onto PV Poke. I'm just going to quickly go onto PV Poke right here. It's kind of like, if you don't run the meta, run what counters the meta. So, let's say for example, this Malamar team, I bet you guys are seeing it too, right? So, what does Malamar lose to? It loses to Rapidash, Victini, and it actually does lose to Galarian SLOWBRO, but only very slightly. It's not a very comfortable matchup. But you could run, let's say, Rapidash in the lead, and then what counters SLOWBRO? Bronzong, Raichu, Bruxish. What counters SLOWKING? Because I feel like a lot of the same Pokemon will counter both of these. Yeah, so it loses to Malamar, Bruxish, Latios, Claydol, Victini. You know, so you could run a team like that, like with a Fairy in the front, and like maybe Bruxish and Victini in the back. that would basically destroy this team, so definitely keep that in mind if you're seeing this team an absolute ton. So this game we had the SLOWKING lead and the Malamar, I guess, safe swap. We're going to go for the Shadow Ball off the rip here. The opponent does have 2-to-1 shield, so I'm basically trying just to get both shields off the opponent here. That's about the best I can hope for, honestly. So we're going to shield up this Shadow Ball right here. And I probably could have baited the first one, but I'm not sure if I would have got to... Like, maybe if I went straight Surf here, I would have got off more damage, potentially. But at this point, you know, that's about the best I could do. I can kind of get it down to about half health. And I can actually come back in with Malamar here. And should be able to outpace it. But of course, with the lag when you swap in, the opponent is able to reach a Surf. Now, can we survive this Surf? Just about. Malamar is actually really good. Personally, like, I actually don't enjoy using Malamar. But if you guys are going to use it, use Swag IVs 110%. And here's a Raichu right here. And they reach these in free Volt Switches. So I wasn't going to be able to get to that harder hitting move, unfortunately. Yeah, so Wild Charge comes through, does a ton of damage. And yeah, we just have no health on the Malamar. GG's here. This is actually one of the subs on the channel. Morris, if you're watching, good games right there. And we get a shiny Ho-Oh. You know what? I was pretty upset about losing that match, but we got a shiny Ho-Oh, so that makes up for it. The IVs weren't too crazy on it, but I was definitely pretty happy with that. I've been getting a ton of really good rewards. I got a shiny Lapras yesterday, and I've had about 4 or 5 Ho-Ohs out of Go Battle League rewards recently, so I've been pretty happy with that. But there you go. There's another free 2 set. We just, I think it was the first set that really killed me. I went 1 and 4 in the first set. 1 out of 5, 1 win, 4 losses. And after that, I just had a bunch of free 2s, and I had 1-2 free. So this absolutely destroys Bruxish. We've finally got a good matchup here in the lead with Malamar. Bruxish does not stand a chance against this thing. I'll match shields or double shield this to win lead, because Bruxish in the back line is not what I want to see. They can get off a lot of damage here, but I'm respecting the Aqua Tail. I'm just trying to get this stupid little fish out of here. To be honest, I really do like this stupid little fish, but we're on 1-to-1 shields here, and we're going to go for another foul play, which would just do a lot of damage here. This could get the opponent's last shield, or get them pretty low. At this point, I swap into my own slow, knowing that I resist basically all of the moves, and Surf doesn't do too much damage, and I hopefully should be able to get this thing out of here. Now, in comes SLOWKING, which again beats SLOWBRO. Again, guys, you're just seeing this team over and over again, so you maybe should just try to counter this team, honestly. Yesterday, this team, like I said, done amazingly well, but today I was finding just a bunch of teams that are similar to this team, or that I slightly beat, or the opponent slightly beats me, which can make for some really fun and close battles, but it is kind of annoying at the same time. You do want a little bit more sort of straightforward, or a little bit more unique battles than just kind of mirror matches constantly, and slight energy advantages, you know, making the big difference. But anyway, we're going to come back in with Malamar. The opponent's going to throw off. I wanted the opponent to throw off their energy here, and this is just tough. Like, this is a rock and a hard place right here, basically. I think my switch timer was locked still, so I'm going to go for the Surf, which will take us out, so we do reach the move just in time, fortunately. The opponent cannot reach a Shadow Ball, and SLOWBRO has no chance against this team. But like I said, the team that I called the best team in this meta, it's even more better, it's even more so the best team now. Just purely because these Pokemon get buffed, and everybody's going to be running it. I highly recommend going for Rapidash lead, Bruxish as your safe swap, and you fight for your absolute life to win your safe swap with Bruxish. If they come in with a Malamar, it's just tough, and you might just have to lose that match. But if you can, basically win that Bruxish matchup, and then you'll have sort of Rapidash and Victini to go sort of ham in the back. And the really amazing thing about Rapidash is, let's say if you can come in and get a farm down, run high horsepower on it, which basically one-shots both of the bros, and Victini is just a really strong answer for, of course, the whole meta, but of course the bros as well. So yeah, here we have a Bruxish matchup again. I was like, okay, you know, I'm finally getting some good luck. I've had these rubbish leads for the whole time. I've got two lead wins back to back, so I'm pretty happy here. I'm going to shield up and, you know, try to take switch off this. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. Yep, so they do decide to shield it, and at this point I'm like, okay, I'll actually IPS you to another one, so definitely never double shield your Bruxish against Malamar, because you will get IPS. I decide to swap straight out. In comes my little pony, and in comes Slowbro, and the opponent's like, yep, okay. The opponent's probably been experiencing a very similar thing to what I just explained, and yeah, they just swiftly top left. Guys, do you like the Psychic Cup this week? Let me know. I'm definitely looking forward to the Mountain Cup next week, which should be a pretty fun one. It's basically, is it ground, ice, steel, and grass Pokemon or something like that? It's gonna be a very fun cup. So right here, I decide to build up to the Hyper Beam, and I'm happy enough just to let this go. It is a foul play. We can survive either a Hyper Beam or a foul play. So probably going for the Hyper Beam is not the correct play. I literally never win CMP on this Malamar. So guys, I do recommend going for Swag IVs on your Malamar, which is basically a higher attack stat, which will allow you to win these mirror matchups just constantly. I just never won CMP with this thing, so it was kind of hard to run. So we're coming in with SLOWKING against this thing, which again, what is a bro to a king? The king just takes him out. The opponent can surf away, but the king is just chilling. And I make a mistake here, I think. I think going for the Shadow Ball is a bit overkill. I decided to go for an undercharge though, so I can get a little bit of a farm down as well. So definitely a fan of this play right here. We're going to get pretty low, but we're going to come out of here with a move. And I decide I'm going to instant swap back into the Slowbro, because they'll likely come in with Rapidash to try and farm down. But it is the fish. And I'm actually just going to go straight surf on this thing. I know that they will be able to reach a move, and they basically do have to shield up something at this point, and they're able to farm us the whole way down, so this is rough, unfortunately. Yeah, they just had a team that was just kind of difficult for us to deal with there, and Bruxish can be a big problem if you don't get it lined up with Malamar Folly. So there you go. You're seeing the weaknesses of this team as well. Bruxish is definitely a big problem. So Rapidash is a bad lead, but it's a good lead because we're running an ABB style team, and the opponent comes in with a SLOWKING, so this is kind of a little bit rough. There's no way we can really fight for switch here. I mean, we could probably try to go for the double shield, but it's basically not really going to work out for us. I decided just to let it go at this point, and yeah, this is kind of tough now. SLOWKING just absolutely dominates Slowbro. So maybe like, you know, of course I swapped in the Slowbro against the Rapidash. You probably should just swap in your SLOWKING to it, because Slowbro is a harder answer. I decide, okay, at the very least I can try to farm up extra energy here and give myself something for the Rapidash. I come in with my SLOWKING here against the Rapidash, and in comes their Slowbro. So the tables have turned here a little bit. They're going for Rapidash double slow, which I did try for a match, and I did win that match actually that I tried. But I just decided I want to go back to Malamar because it's what I've kind of worked on and what I've decided is best. But we're going to go for a Surf Beat right here, knowing that the opponent will not want the SLOWKING on them. And yeah, we do get the shield. At this point we can Shadow Ball it out of here. I do decide to shield here, which is interesting. The Rapidash is super spammy, and I overfarm by 1 here. I think the Surf will just about take this thing out, and I want to leave myself with a move on the other side. And we're actually coming into Malamar. We're going to go for the foul play straight away here. I should have just went for the Shadow Ball, but the opponent's going to take us out. They'll get a little bit of extra farm. So this is getting very, very close. Can we get off this move? The opponent does get a little bit of a farm down, and I was absolutely furious at myself for this one. I was really, really annoyed at this one. I just completely threw that match. I was furious, folks. That was just such a bad gameplay right there, and yeah, I definitely, swapping out, I give the opponent a win condition right there, basically. The way I was looking at it is, you know, I'll force them to throw energy, I'll throw off a foul play, do a decent amount of damage, but that was just not it, folks. So we swap into our SLOWKING this time, and in comes Malamar. So Malamar has a very positive matchup here, but I did decide, okay, we got a little bit ahead on energy, so if the opponent throws in bad timing and stuff, we might be able to do something here. I throw off a Surf here, the opponent lets it go, and we're going to throw off just another Surf straight away just to put the pressure on. At the very least, try to get this thing low, and the opponent does shield it, so this is not too bad at this point. At this point, like, I'm just sort of going to commit to this matchup, because like I said, we got a little bit ahead. This foul play will probably not quite take out. Yeah, so we're able to get off the Surf at the very least, which I think would take out the Malamar. So the opponent has a decision to make. They do decide to let it go, and at the very least we get alignment. But Rapidash with a shield is super, super tough to deal with, and they're a little bit ahead on energy as well. I do come in with my bro right here, and I try to catch something on the Malamar. The Malamar is going to catch something for sure. It's the high horsepower, but that actually doesn't take out, and the opponent does a nice little catch on Slowbro right here. So at this point, I'm sort of actually happy enough with this, because of course I want my Slowbro on the Rapidash. Can I get to the... Yes, I do get to the next foul play. So I'm sort of thinking, okay, this is not too bad here. We take it out, and in comes the Rapidash. Now, can we survive a move against this thing? I can't throw anything, they still have a shield, But what do they have? They have high horsepower. It just about doesn't take us out. And we actually just about get the farm down, guys, on 1 HP and 20% battery. We get the farm down. Guys, this team worked really well, and I think once people stop using it, it's going to just completely destroy the meta. And maybe for the next day or two, people will be trying out the Slow King and Slow Bro. So I'm going to leave a link to that video showcasing that team and how you should run the Rapidash, Victini, and Brux's team. And I think maybe on the last day or two, if you run this team, people will have swapped out because, you know, people are going to start getting hard countered with this team pretty soon. I think using this team for the last day or two will help you gain some elo in the Psychic Cup. But thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Just really quickly before you go, hit that like button, subscribe, and feel free to join our Discord. I'm going to be running some practice battles for the Mountain Cup, which will be coming up next week here. So if you want to join our community and even run some battles against us, join that Discord in the description down below as well. Thank you, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your day.